everyone. This is Steve Weintraub at the Collider Media Studio at South by Southwest. I want to give a huge thank you to Cinema Center for being a partner here and allowing us to do interviews. And I just really want to say it's been cool so far, and I'm thrilled to be able to talk with everyone behind Government Cheese. How you guys doing?
Very well.
Fantastic.
Very good.
So I believe you're premiering today, or is it tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
My bad. Most people have not seen the trailer or know what it's about, and I hate doing that generic thing, but how do you want to describe it? Like, what have you been telling friends and family about the show?
Well, it's about a family. It's about a family in the San Fernando Valley, a quirky family, in their own bubble, trying to pursue the American dream.
And it's sort of based a little bit on you.
Yeah, based on my family, my dad, just growing up in the valley.
Okay, you've teased this. I guess I'll go down the line real quick. Well, first of all, I want to say I've seen the first 4 episodes. We've identified it's the first 4. I'm giving you thumbs up. I will continue watching. I don't always say that. Like, it has a very unique tone that I've not seen on TV. Like, it's a unique show. For each of you, talk a little bit about who you play on the show and what was it about the scripts that said, "Oh yes, I want to do this."
Well, I play Hampton Chambers in the show. I'm basically playing a version of Paul's dad in the show. And what made me say yes, Paul and I did a short film of Government Cheese about 6 years ago. And I will never forget the moment he handed me this 20-page script. I cracked it open. What you tend to do as an actor is if you're interested in something, you say, oh, let me just look at the first few pages. So I had it on my phone and I stayed in the exact same spot from cover to cover of reading this thing. I just had never read anything quite like it, never seen a character quite like it, never seen people of this demographic in that place at that time doing these things. And it is very rare to read something where you go, I've never seen anything quite like that before. So all of those things made it a no-brainer for me.
For me, initially, I turned it down initially. You know what I'm saying?
Quite the opposite.
No, because it was just not enough time. It was literally like my agent was like, Paul Hunter, David, they have something that they would like you to be a part of, but it was a Thursday, let's say, and you have to be there Monday to shoot. And I wasn't going to go on screen with this cat with only 4 days preparation. You know what I'm saying? It's just not enough time. So I said, wow, it sounds good, but it's just not happening. There's not enough time to get it together. So I was headed to New York that weekend, and I read it on the plane. And I got off the plane and I called my agent. I was like, man, this is a real tragedy because I love this character. I love this role. I play Bootsy. And I really wanted to do it, but there just wasn't enough time. And my agent said, guess what? They're willing to give you more time to prepare. And so I was just elated. And what drew me to it is it had this kind of quirky, bizarre, kind of tone that, quite frankly, you don't see a lot of black folks get to do on screen. And I thought it was so brave, and I love Paul's work from watching so many, things he's done, that I was immediately just excited to be a part of it.
I play Harrison Chambers. He's the youngest of the Chambers family. And he's sort of the ray of sunshine on his planet. He's not at all. He's sort of the cynic of the family. But the cool thing is that you'll see more layers of him as the story progresses and his relationship with his dad progresses as well. And I actually discovered the script and the project right before the strikes had happened. And initially I read for Einstein, and they came back and they said they wanted me to read for, I call him Sir Harrison. And Harrison, that sort of just fit like a glove. I mean, when I read for it, I was like, okay, this is it. And I just love that I saw so many aspects of my own family within the story, and so many different elements that, like Bokeem was saying, I hadn't seen before, especially as it pertains to the African-American experience from this particular time period. And yeah, it just made me so excited, and Paul's vision, everything about it was really, really interesting.
Yeah, so I play Einstein, the oldest in the fam. Yeah, Paul was saying it's loosely based off his brother. And what interested me in the project, well, I mean, I'm at that stage where I say yes. You know what I mean? I need work. So I didn't really know what I kind of stumbled upon. I was just like, yeah, let's audition, let's do it, let's send it out. And once I kind of like read the script, I was like, oh, okay. Like I actually, it was honestly beyond me that I was able to audition and do a callback for that, because it was really some amazing writing from Aeysha and Paul. And I think Einstein is, I feel very close to Einstein in the way that I move and walk through the world. So I think it was very refreshing to play a guy like him. Yeah.
Yeah, I can only imagine. You're like, oh shit, these scripts are actually good.
These are actually amazing. Yeah.
You know, this is a completely different question, but you've directed a number of music videos going back to the late 90s into the 2000s, like a lot of big videos. If someone's never seen any of your music video work, what's the one they should start with?
Erykah Badu, On and On.
Was there a reason you went right to that one?
It had a story to it. We kind of based it on the color purple, and it's actually the one that kind of got a lot of people excited, because we broke a lot of rules in that. And I mean, after I had done that, I think pretty much I got a call from Prince and so many different people just saying, they loved it. So.
Did Prince call you at a normal time of day? Because I've heard stories.
I was 12, middle of the day.
Oh, so it was a normal. So okay, because I've heard many stories where he just calls at 4 or 5 in the morning and is it's Prince.
Yeah. So it was kind of cool to get a call from him after that.
I cannot even imagine.
And that doesn't surprise me. I mean, the thing about Paul is he's a consummate storyteller. I mean, if you see the music videos, that one you did with Tyrese as well, was just it's just so full of story and emotion. And I feel so privileged. I think we all do, in terms of getting to be inside of his story brain, because he's skirted Hollywood because he has a very specific voice, very specific stories to tell, and you won't be able to tell it from his calm, angelic demeanor, but he's very, very clear about what it is he wants to do, how he wants to do it, in a very kind way. And so, I mean, this is the first time he's getting to do something this expansive in terms of episodic. And what you see in those music videos, not just in terms of the visuals, but the story, I mean, it's just so incredible. And then the combination of Aeysha and Paul was just kind of magic from that point of view.
I'll just say, if ladies want to treat the D'Angelo "Show Me How You Feel" video, you should look that one up. That's my favorite.
One for the ladies.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, for Aeysha, just riffing off of David, what I love about working with Aeysha is, her writing is very bold and unapologetic, and it's just, she, we were just talking outside, she just really kind of embraces an idea, and she doesn't back down from it, and she's just a really incredible writer.
So I am curious. So you go in to pitch Apple on the show. How much are they saying to you, like, what's your 3-season plan? What's your 5-season plan? How much is it sort of like what's the 1-season plan?
I'll say this show was so weird that they didn't have those questions. They were like, is this going to work? Which I do think, being such an outlier, allowed us to just sit with season 1 and make sense of it. And I think they were like, if this works, maybe it will, maybe it won't. But it doesn't fit any of the other parameters of their show. So I think we had a lot of freedom in that.
Something I'm curious about is your character is an inventor. Actually, he tries to do a lot of things, but the main thing that happens is he's an inventor, and he invents I don't know if you want to say it or not. I don't think it's a big spoiler.
A self-sharpening drill.
Yeah. So, but my question is, how much did you guys debate what was going to be that invention that he comes up with? That's going to be the thing that keeps the story going.
Oh no, there were certain things that Paul had, plot points that we never questioned. I think that was always.
Where did
There's always going to be a drill.
Yeah.
Where did it come from?
Yeah.
Oh, I used to work in the aerospace business, and so it was kind of, being around that industry and just seeing different, tools and stuff like that. I thought it'd be, something to explore with Hampton's character.
One of the things about the show is that each episode is unlike the other episode. They're all very unique. So talk a little bit about why that was important to sort of, you know what I mean? Like have not fit the cookie cutter mold.
So I think just who Paul is as a director and as a creative, and then I think me coming out of TV and like being like, I don't want to write anything that I've written a million times before. So we really met in this place of how can we be different? How can we not ascribe to any of the normal rules? I think he was a little worried about coming into TV of like, I don't want to make a half-hour show. And I was like, that's not what we're going to do. And we figured out a path. And I think the small independent films are each going to be little independent films, and they're each going to tell a different story in a different way, and they all kind of feel and look really different, and that was intentional.
Just wanted to break the rules.
Yeah, I'm all in favor. Listen, I watch a lot of stuff, and anytime I'm watching things where I don't know where it's going to go next, fantastic. The first season is, I think, 10 episodes. For each of you, which episode is your favorite and why of the 10?
Let's start down there.
Yeah, mine was definitely the last episode.
Oh, no spoilers, by the way.
No spoiler. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So basically, episode 10 important.
Yes.
I would say episode 6, episode 5 and 6, and of course no spoilers, but just David and I have a lot of fun in those episodes. So yeah, a lot of fun.
I would say for me, episode 5, because of the sheer absurdity involved.
Yeah, I'm gonna cheat and say like Jahi, episode 5 and 6. I mean, by then, we've introduced the characters, we are deep in it, and the interaction we have, Bo and I, in episode 5 is, I mean, some of the work and some of the imagery I'm most proud of in my career, and then episode 6 is basically myself and Jahi out there in the wild, and it is truly wild. Those for sure were where I had the most of my fun.
All right, I'm gonna break it up a little bit. I really love episode. No spoilers, right? So episode 3, it's just very odd. It's all sort of in one, in an interesting space, and I think what I love about David's work is that he's able to do a lot with nothing. And that episode, there's not a lot going on, and he's very intriguing in it.
First of all the episodes, but I'll go with episode 7. And episode 7, we took a hard left from what we had been doing, and I think it just is completely different.
One of the things that surprised me about the show is it takes place in the San Fernando Valley, which is in Los Angeles, and you actually shot in the San Fernando Valley in Los Angeles. How the F did you pull this off? Because nothing films in LA anymore.
That's that one.
I'm going to take the blame for that. Well,
no, I commend you.
Well, when we made the short film, when Paul sent me the script, I was so keen to do it, had to jam it into my very busy schedule. And so we decided to shoot it in the first week of that year. So before things picked up in Hollywood, it takes about mid-January before things pick up after the holidays. And so we shot it in 4 days early in January. And we shot it in the Valley. It was cold in LA at that time. But Paul lives in the Valley. I live in the Valley. It's set in the Valley. And so when we started thinking of it as a show, we made a pact because we're both family men. We like sleeping in our own beds. We were like, okay, these are the circumstances under which we would like to do this, if at all possible. The great thing about Apple is they got some money. So when we started talking to them and it looked like this was going, I remember I got a call at one point. We're like, are you sure sure about this LA thing? I went, I'm absolutely sure. They said, because if we shoot in New Mexico, we are going to save a ton of money. And I said, do you want me to hand the phone to my wife? Because you can speak to her about the fact that I will not be home for another 6 months. And went, it's okay. We'll figure it out. And so we ended up shooting in LA. But to your point, every single day on that set, I had 2 to 3 crew members come up to me who also live in LA, thanking us for the fact that they got to be with their families, be in the place that is supposedly the hub of our business, and shoot a show of this nature for months on end. And that was something that was very heartening.
Listen, I know too many crew members who are out of work in Los Angeles, and I commend everyone involved. I'm looking right at you and you for bringing work back to LA, and the importance of doing more production in Los Angeles is just so imperative to our business. Something I want to also commend Apple on. I love Apple TV, and it's because all of their shows just have incredible production value and cinematography. Like everything below the line is just really good. What the hell is going on over there? Like, is it just that they turn the faucet on with money? Is it like, how are they pulling this off?
I think they really like working with creators, and they like to let the creators create something.
I think what I've been saying, and I truly believe this to be true, an Apple original, it's one of the only places where it's actually an original. You go to that platform, and so much of what you're seeing is something you haven't seen before or haven't seen quite like this before. And for whatever reason, they're gravitating towards that. I think it's a function of them not having pre-existing IP and needing to build a library, but also Apple is associated with premium. So anything and everything they do, they want it to be the best there is, and they're incredibly fastidious when it comes to making sure that's the case. So they work with people who share that mindset, and that's why it's producing some of the best shows on TV.
It's like my agent said, Apple can afford to be great.
When you make a show for Apple, does it come with Apple TV for life?
No.
if
And
only.
we ask.
If only. I did get one of these though.
Did they give that to you?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I see. With season 1, how much did you guys debate on like a cliffhanger ending, having the end of like a chapter of their story, but like opening up another chapter if you get to continue?
I will say one of the loveliest things, and also sometimes most challenging things about working with this amazing Paul Hunter, is that he's always open to change everything. And there were moments when we had a completely different ending to the season. There was a moment when we had a big action movie ending to the season. And I think just always keeping the options open allowed us to get to where we got. But we've played with many endings.
I'm not sure if you're going to add something. So for all of you guys, you see the shooting schedule in front of you. I ask this of everyone, and sometimes it gets interesting answers. So you see the shooting schedule in front of you. What day do you have circled in terms of you can't wait to film something? And what day do you have circled in terms of how the F are we going to film something?
I'll start with that. Well, the approach, every day was challenging in terms of the schedule, because we wanted to keep, we wanted to create a certain style. We didn't want to rush through, and we wanted to, the look was very important. So, in terms of how we accomplished that, we made a choice not to move the camera. Everything was very specific. We shot a lot of tableaus and portraits, and that played deep into our tone. And so I think, for me, I loved every part of every episode. Every setup was great. And I really enjoyed the other filmmakers who came on to film, and they just did an incredible job. And I love, just watching the talent. And what was interesting, riffing off of Aeysha, is that everyone came ready to dance and improvise. And I would say that was led by David here, who's very creative, very spontaneous, and has a lot of ideas in terms of how to bring something to life. And it was actually a great learning experience for me, because I was able to, and Bo and all the rest of the Ja and Evan and Aeysha, it was a great learning experience for me because I was able to learn how to pivot within what we were trying to film, and just brought a lot of life to the scenes.
I just want to add, in addition to all of these amazing people, our DP, Matt, and lighting, we had people that moved faster than I've ever seen getting setups done and moving shots that allowed us to do as much as we did. The whole crew was incredibly talented and amazing.
Absolutely.
And we would be remiss not to mention the amazing Simone Missick, who plays my wife and Evan and Jahi's mother in the show. She is about to give birth, and so is not with us at the moment. But just an amazing human being, actress, phenomenal scene partner, dance partner as well, which we did a bit of in the show. So any day with her was a complete joy. But I will say, Paul has become one of my favorite people on the planet. And so to your question about what were the things that perked me up, anytime, he directed 4 of the 10 episodes, and that was always a highlight for me, getting to be with him, because what he's talking about in terms of the creativity, you need, again, a great dance partner. And we were always pushing it. And that's not usual when you're, to Aisha's point, moving fast, got to get the schedule done. But if, he is a best idea wins guy. And you always felt like it was getting elevated. And so any day with him was heaven for me. I'm going to keep going because I had so many people that I loved working with on this. But Bo, the chemistry we were able to find, in these scenes was just something that was on the page. But then
How much are they paying you to say this?
If only it was just hyperbole. It's genuinely how I felt.
We all really love each other.
It was some of the most fun I've ever had.
You know why?
In my
Los
career.
Angeles.
Los Angeles,
Filming in LA, everyone's in a good mood.
But a great cast, great crew. Yes, sleeping in your own bed helps, but yeah, and these guys as well. Getting to play their dad was a real privilege.
Yes, anytime there was a family scene,
Yeah.
I looked forward to it. I loved our dynamic and building that as the story progresses. It was so much fun. And again, David spearheading a lot of that, going off of him. He was such an excellent leader in all of those scenes. I can't wait for people to see those. Those are really, really good. Love them.
Yeah, no. Like David was saying, I think any day I knew Paul was directing, I was really hyped to come to set. And any day with Ja, I feel like it was really fun to kind of let that brotherly dynamic unfold. We have lots of scenes like that are really fun to shoot. You'll see. Yeah,
and everybody's so bright. It's a cerebral group, but also a how can I say, an organic, kind of natural, almost and I mean this in the best possible terms, but a primal love of art, that would allow us to dig into that natural wellspring of creativity that all artists have. And even if you're not always gonna get your way in terms of what you might do, because when you have an open-minded director like Paul, you might say, well, hey man, what if I did this? You'd be like, well, calm down, we're not going that far, you know what I mean? But you half the time he will acquiesce and you will get your way half the time, at least, and
At least try it.
yeah, and you feel comfortable to at least bring it up, and when it makes sense, he's cool with it, and when it doesn't make sense, he'd be like, well, that's not my vision. But you feel like you're in a family and you have a say.
I just want to say that it was a great experience, but again, I just have to give props to Aeysha for being able to dance, because she, would have to go back when she'd hear these ideas, and she'd have to go back and write them and make it make sense. Again, we all we came to work every day. We were open, and we worked as a team and as a group to collaborate and to create within the schedule. And sometimes when the schedule didn't allow us, we just kind of stuck to the plan and kept going. So
I truly hope it's a big hit for you guys and you get to do whatever the hell you want to do in season 2. On that note, I just want to say enjoy South by Southwest. Thank you for coming in, and look for more interviews on Collider soon.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you.